Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It was not surprising that Saudi Arabia would try to turn nuclear, which is, peaceful nuclear energy, not nuclear bombs. Okay, no problem. I think that's exactly what everybody else thinks. But you can assume, you can, have your own preconceptions about certain things, but until the person or the entity did not show signs of getting into that direction, and this is not that direction, and that direction I mean building nuclear weapons or having nuclear weapons, we can't assume that Saudi Arabia is unsincere about its goals, which is they want some nuclear energy, they want some facilities, they want to get involved in this kind of business. And they did it the right way. That's very smart. And which is they asked the Americans, not the Russians, for help first. Why? I will tell you in a minute. And you can look at Turkey's example. All right? Turkey is a good example of why Saudi Arabia asked the Americans first. Because, I will give you a hint, they will be refused. And then you know what's going to be the next step. And then they will say, see? We asked you. All right, let's see what's going on here. We have this article by Jay Solomon. All right, and Jay Solomon is going to be objective here. It's Friday, June 2nd, 2023. The Saudis want the US to help build a nuclear Aramco. Nuclear dreams. Riyadh has proposed to visiting American leaders developing a joint US-Saudi project to build the country's civilian nuclear energy program. Four people briefed on the plans told Semafor. The project, referred to as Nuclear Aramco, is designed to bolster Saudi Arabia's ambitions to produce and potentially export atomic energy while also addressing US and international concerns about the proliferation of nuclear weapons technology. The Biden administration has been holding discussions with Riyadh in recent months about defense and economic cooperation, as well as potentially normalizing diplomatic relations between the Saudis and Israel. A long-standing goal of U.S. foreign policy. Why would they care about that? Well, I know the answer, and some of you know it too. We can't say it. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has said he would consider forging diplomatic ties with Israel if, in return, the US offers to help Saudi Arabia develop a civilian nuclear energy industry, provide stepped-up security commitments, and greenlights new arms sales to Riyadh's military, according to those briefed on discussions. The Saudis have specifically cited the state oil company Aramco as a model for how civil nuclear cooperation with the US could progress. The company started in the 1930s as a partnership with John D. Rockefeller Standard Oil and was initially called the Arabian American Oil Company. Today, it's wholly Saudi-controlled and is among the world's most profitable companies. So, under this nuclear partnership, the Saudis have told interlocutors an Arabian American nuclear power company could be formed that would give U.S. companies and entities a direct role in the development and oversight of nuclear power development in Saudi Arabia. But the enrichment of uranium would still occur inside its borders. All right, so this is what these guys wanted. It says here the US has previously sought to ink a treaty with Saudi Arabia on civilian nuclear development known as a 123 agreement, which requires congressional approval and allows for the transfer of sensitive atomic equipment and materials. Such a deal would allow US nuclear companies like Westinghouse to enter the rapidly growing Saudi market and give American officials greater leverage to prevent material from being used for weapons development. The negotiations, though, have repeatedly stalled over Riyadh's demand that it produce the nuclear fuel for its sectors on Saudi soil. So, they want it there, they didn't want it. The Saudis want to produce it over there. Obviously, the Americans don't want to do that. And again, they want the same thing. I don't think Israel is the reason here why the Americans don't want to start this project. And besides, let me ask you this, or let me state this and then ask you. I'm pretty sure that you're aware that by the American standards, I'm choosing my words, American standards, Saudi Arabia is not a country that US should associate with for, human rights violations and all that. I think that's a fact, isn't it? That the United States doesn't like a lot of things about what's going on in Saudi Arabia, which Saudi Arabia doesn't give up, which is its right to do that. So they do business with these guys, but they point fingers at others, they don't like, that don't have this kind of situation in their country. Okay? So that is. So why is that? Is the question why the Americans continue to do business with a regime that they call it's tyrannical and all that. Remember, Mohammed bin Salman did not cross the line of purity yet, according to these guys here, and they want to give him nuclear technology. Okay, I don't think that's gonna happen. So what's going to happen, what I think is going to happen, the Americans will refuse again, because they will not get to the point where the Saudi says, no, we want to have everything here. You can control it, you can build it, whatever, but then we produce it. Why? Because I give you there, and I give you there, I produce there, but with the other hand, I put it in my pocket, and then I show some missiles to everybody. I'm just exaggerating, but not impossible. Probable? Yes, I would give it 90%. And why not? After all, you have other countries having nuclear weapons close by, and So what they're gonna do? This is what I think Saudi Arabia will do. Will contact Russia, like Turkey did with the Patriot systems, I think it was, and then they said, you don't give it to us, and the Americans, yeah, we give them to us for this price. And Turk said, that's outrageous, it's too much, why do you charge us so much? Because we don't want to give them to you, that's why we charge you this. And I'm just, making it funny somehow. But it was kind of like that, it was the price. And then Erdogan said, you know what, then I'm going to buy the S-400 from the Russians. No, you won't. Yes, I will. No, I. And he did. And the Americans did all this, took the F-35 program out of Turkey. Then Turkey said, oh, it's okay, I'm going to go and buy then the Russians or the European fighter jets if you don't give me the F this and F that. So that's what they did. You don't give it to me, I'm going to go over there. But they need balls. You need balls. I don't know if Saudi Arabia so far showed balls in the past year and a half. More balls than I expected. They want to join BRICS and all that, which is Russian side. Sell oil at a higher price to the west, lower price to the east. Another thing. So this is what they're going to do. They asked it. Hey, we asked you. You said no. You didn't want to make a deal with us. That's not going to work, and it's not going to fly with the Americans. But at least for the rest of the world, they will say, well, we were honest. We went to our guys. We asked. They said no. We're going to go to these bad guys, and this bad guy is going to say yes. And then we're going to get it. I don't know if the Russians will allow the Saudis to have their own, production on their territory, but the enrichment of uranium on their territory. But if they do, probably they're going to be under the Russian, like that. That's one article. The other article is more direct. And here it is. This is from New York Times, obviously New York. Saudis want a U.S. nuclear deal. Can they be trusted not to build a bomb? And they put Salman right here. Mohammed bin Salman. No, they can't be trusted because they are not trustworthy. Only we are trustworthy. And other people that we can't mention, the name that should not be named. So the 33-year-old heir of the Saudi throne had been overseeing a negotiation with Energy Department and the State Department to get United States to sell designs for nuclear power plants to the kingdom. The deal was worth up to $80 billion depending on how many plants Saudi Arabia decided to build, how many plants. So yeah, they can't be trusted, right? Right here. It says this is the start right here, my friends. Before Saudi Arabia Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was implicated by CIA in the killing of Jamal Khashoggi, American intelligence agencies were trying to solve a separate mystery. Was the prince laying the groundwork for building an atomic bomb? With this start, what do you think is going to happen? David Sanger and William Broad. He's a Pulitzer Prize. There you have. I'm not going to go deeper, but you can look at his biography probably, and that would be helpful. And I don't know this Broad, whatever, is not important. As he shared 2 Pulitzer Prizes. Ooh, they mean nothing since I saw some guys with Pulitzer Prizes. But hey, they give prizes to one another, and like they give Oscars. There are non-values, and you look at them and say they give their Oscars to one another, and you look at that's an actor. Okay, well, all right. I've seen actors, and I'm not talking about artists from the Hollywood. I mean, regular actors, artists in a theater, and it's a much different thing to be in a theater than being in a 5 seconds clip. Hey, cut! You just do your thing and then you stop and then wait. Anyway, that's my personal assessment on that one. And I think some non-values got not only promoted but awarded. And besides, it's their organization. They can do whatever they want. We can make our old organization and call it global. If we have another person from Canada, we have 2 countries, we call it world, best yappers organizations, and we give one another every other month. We have some like Oscar, and we give each other something, a big mouth, as a statue with a big mouth, and that's, I give it to you this year or this month, you give it to me next month, and we are very important. We can do that, I guess. All right, well, thank you very much for being with me again today. They will build a bomb, and then the question is, why is the United States allowed to have nuclear weapons? It doesn't have any moral authority. It used 2 bombs, one in Hiroshima, one in Nagasaki. That was specifically done for civilians. And they would have gone on and on and on, they said. So it was not like ending. Why? Don't give me that argument, well, now because we know how it is. That's like a rapist would tell you that he should be the judge on rape cases because he raped before and he knows how it is. Doesn't work that way, does it? All right, well, if you think it does, put yourself in the shoes of the victim and see if she would agree with that kind of proposal. Obviously not. I cover this in many of my videos, so I'm not going to get deeper in this. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.